Big Data Club is a student association founded in 2017 by the promotion of our master Big Data and Business Analytics of ESCP. So we want to inspire, inform, and connect people, creating a fertile ground for open discussion by providing a platform that connects industry and academic experts with students interested in any field within the big data and the digital transformation. So here we are. Today, we are gonna have our first digital webinar about data visualization with Tableau. And we have here Olivier, one of our guest speakers.
So hi everyone, my name is Cynthia and I'm also a member of the Big Data Club. I would like to thank you all for attending our first webinar, and I hope you are all staying safe at home. For our first session, we chose to talk about the importance of data visualization in today's world. Our speaker today, Olivier Leroy, an expert in data viz and founder of Lab 32 and PMP Consulting, will share with us insightful information and practices about Tableau. They will be showcased in two different examples. The first one would be directly related to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the other one combines data from the pandemic with measures from the World Economic Forum. After each segment of the conference, we will try to read all of your questions and comments and answer them. So please kindly ask all of your questions in the chat box and stay on mute. In 2017, Olivier Leroy created Lab 32, leading a team of 10 employees with data scientists, engineers, and analysts. He has dedicated 15 years of his life to business intelligence as a developer, technical consultant, and project manager for large groups such as Carrefour, Société Générale, Valeo, and BNP Personal Finance. So a warm welcome to you, Olivier, and thank you for attending our first webinar and accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Alex. So yes, I will talk about data visualization today, and especially through the tool Tableau. I use a lot of other tools like Power BI, which is the main competitor from Microsoft, and also Qlik, which is the third big competitor on the market. But yes, I really enjoy Tableau because of its skills to data crunching. That is a sport that I practice every day. Data crunching basically is when you want to start from scratch with a data set to know what is inside. So it's more discovery side of data visualization. So basically, just in 1 minute to introduce what we do at PMP. So I started 3 years ago. Creating the data lab. So PMP is a consulting firm, strategic consulting, and basically, yes, with this era of data, it was more and more pregnant that it was time to have also quantitative analysis to get more value from the former qualitative analysis. So basically, in the data lab, we have basically four or five main topics: predictive modeling based on machine learning, chatbot and RPA. So RPA is robotic process automation, meaning all the kinds of automation, and chatbot is one of these kind of automation. Okay. We work also as a digital transformer, meaning like traditional function of consultants to switch from the, let's say, old era to the new era of the data. We focus, and you will see it, on data visualization also, because it's a very powerful tool to understand what we have in data sets. And one of our specialty in machine learning is the natural language processing, which is the fact that when we analyze data from unstructured data, meaning comments from the web, blog, forum, and stuff like that, articles, for example. So this is basically the team. The team is composed, as Cynthia has said, of data engineers, that are computer scientists, let's say, data scientists that are mathematicians, and data analysts, a little bit like me, that are in charge of the discovery and business insights. So the first part quickly is why we use Tableau and more generally the data visualization. We have two kinds of usage, as I just told before, data crunching or reporting. So data crunching is when you start from scratch, and this is what we will do in our first part. And the second kind of case with data visualization is reporting, meaning that you build a reporting that will be refreshed every month, for example, to have, as you can see on the screen here, the number of incidents on, for example, a customer support platform. We also use data visualization thanks to its powerful calculation and range of usage, because now, I remember 10 years ago, it was not so much the case, or let's say 15 years ago, it was very long to develop this kind of tools. And now it's kind on the fly, okay? And more the tools have integrated small tools aside to help not only visualize the data, but also transform it, okay? So now you are kind of autonomous. If you have the data set, raw data set, like a CSV file, even an Excel file, or a big data set from, for example, data.gov.fr, you can definitely buy your own, and in few minutes have your own interpretation of the data, thanks to the tools that a suite like Tableau, for example, deliver. So if I take the example of Tableau, you have this visualization tool, but aside, you have the online part, which is the way you can gather with other people, thanks to the web functionalities. And you have also the preparation part, which allow you to, as the name say, prepare your data before analyzing it. We use also data visualization because you can use it in every case of your life, I would say. If you have data, you can use data visualization. So here you have examples of different usage. It's like infinite. And maybe the last argument to use this kind of tool is because when you visualize data, you use the pink part of this image, meaning the part of the brain that is creativity. It's really fast to see something when you have bar charts, much more than if you have a dashboard with a lot of lines and columns. An example here. You see the exercise here is to find the digit 7. If it's a mess like this, you will find the answer, but it will take a long time. Okay, it's your analysis part of your brain that operates in that case. So what we do with a visualization, we try to improve the way we find information. Just thanks to the color here, you can see instantly that it's really faster to find the 7. Okay, I can change also a little bit more. And then if I sort, definitely I see better the 7. If I colorize also the other part, it's even better. And then if I switch to visualization, and for example, a bar chart, it's even more obvious. Now we see that we have 17 times 7. Another example of why do we use data visualization. Here you see four different data sets. These data sets, you can analyze them thanks to statistics, like in that case with the green cells. Okay, you will have the mean, the variance, the mean, and so on. But you see that each time the figures are the same. Okay, if you visualize that data now, you see that the points, the plots is totally different from what we have seen thanks to statistics. So now that you understand basically why we use data visualization, I will try to explain a little bit more what it is, because maybe you don't, I don't know your level. I have a small part because if you remember before this session, we asked you to answer some questions. I will show you an example of data visualization based on the questionnaire that you answered. So basically, data visualization first is business and techniques, meaning that what I will try to do to demonstrate the value of this kind of tools is not only to show you that quickly I can have a bar chart. The idea is also to explain that each time that I have a data set, I can really quickly, thanks to the interaction between the tool and the human brain, I can quickly have very valuable insights. So yes, we will see on the first case with the COVID data, this kind of business answers. Then I guess that yes, definitely DataVis will replace tools like Excel again, because we can use as an Excel to sort the data, to prepare the data, but then the last step, which is the insights, it's really easier to find them in the data visualization than in an Excel. As I told you, we have two kinds of usages. So discovery, our first case, and second case will be more reporting. And you will see that each time, whatever the tool that you use in data visualization, you will have the same vocabulary, meaning you will have dimensions. So the dimensions are the axis of analysis. So for example, a business unit, the time, persons, and whatever products and so on. Okay, these are the dimensions. On the other side, we have the indicators. So the indicators are the sales, the margins, and so on. Then around these two main concepts, you have parameters. So parameters will help you to make a kind of dynamism into your presentation. For example, by changing a value by another directly on the screen. And then you have filters, okay, to reduce the scope of the data when you are analyzing. And finally, this is types, meaning bar charts, line charts, scatter plot, maps, and so on. Maybe the last point before going through the data, DataVis is plugged to analytical data. So in the image here, you have an example of transactional data, which is the blue database, if I would say. On this side, so the right side, you see that the table are like it's a mess because it's dedicated to transactions, meaning what you have in SAP, for example, or in a supermarket when you buy your stuff. This is the kind of information that transits in the systems. But in our case, we're much more in a star representation of data, meaning one center table. I'm talking about the left image. One center table, which is constituted by the facts. So in fact, each line of a ticket, for example, and around this events, you have the dimensions. So here, for example, the customers. It's not very important. It's just to explain that basically you have kind of a sort of data that we need to benefit from the DataVis really easily. So basically what we need is the left side type of data, meaning CSV, Excel, whatever. But what I mean is one information per column. This is very important if you want to start from scratch with data visualization. At the contrary, on the other side, on the right side, you see that we have a pivot table with, for example, intermediary totals. And this is really not good for the kind of application like data visualization. So yes, oh, sorry. Our first exercise, because as Tableau is really visual and really easy to use, I would like to make this first small exercise. what you see here corresponds to exactly what we just described before. Alex, can you just assure me that you see the Tableau screen?
Yep, it's all good for us.
Okay, thank you very much. So basically, this is the result of the questionnaire that you sent through a Google Sheet. Okay, so basically, if I take the data that you sent us, I guess this is this one, you will find again the kind of file that I was just talking about. Okay, so one information, one column. In that case, it's a CSV. So maybe you see your name somewhere in the file. I don't know, but basically, difficult to understand this data. Even if I stay in Excel, it will take a whole time to analyze this. Thanks to Tableau, I directly integrated the data into the tool. I had prepared this small visualization, but yes, in 1 minute I can know approximately who you are and who are the guys that are talking with me at the moment. We are not in the same place, so it was maybe important to know how many you are and where are you from, how old are you, what is your background, and so on. Okay, so you see here basically that even if the questionnaire was not so big and with not a lot of questions, in fact, I can find a lot of information from you. So for example, half of the people are from France, but half of the people are from abroad, so it's interesting. 45 of you have answered, so I don't know how many we are today, but maybe it's 2/3 of the session, so it's quite cool from you. Thank you. We see that you are beginners, okay, but it was basically our promise to show you the value of this data visualization today. Range of age, okay, essentially I guess that we have a lot of students, but you see that we have also a part of guys that a little bit older with maybe a bit of experience. We see here that I should have chosen to have only 3 bars, 0, 1 year of experience, which is basically 60% of people here. Then between 2 and 4 years, meaning a first good experience around, yes, let's say 25 or something like this, and more than 5 years, so experimented guys, yes, more than 10%. The idea to show you this is that again, this kind of tools are really affordable, and the data is also affordable. So basically, I went to a site which is maybe some of you know this website. You have a lot of data sets on this that are open data, and for example, I took this one, évolution par jour et par pays. In order for you to have a case that is really current, meaning based on COVID, okay? So I just downloaded it, okay? So I won't do it again, but I downloaded it. And then I went to Tableau. If I take another file, we'll see that it's really simple to connect the data to the tool, which is obviously the first operation to be able to work with the data. Okay, you see a button here, connect to data, very simple. I go there. Yes, my file was an CSV file, so I choose text file. I go to my file. The last one was today file, okay, about coronavirus. I take the file, and directly you see that my data has been interpreted, and I have now the data into Tableau. Just let me explain the case that we will work on. It's very simple again, but you will see that we can do a lot of analysis thanks to these few files, few fields. Sorry. So the first one is a dimension. The second one is also a dimension. So the date of the day, the country, and then the basic KPI that you see every day, KPI for a key performance indicator, but let's say indicator, okay. Alors, sorry for it's in French, but infection, meaning the number of people that has the coronavirus. Décès for death. Guérison for, I don't even know the word, but after you are, how do you say in English, Alex? Maybe you know, guérison? When you are healthy again, let's say.
When you recover.
Yeah.
Yes, when you recover, definitely. Recovery, yes, okay. Plus the rates on these different KPI. So you see that we don't have a lot of columns, but it's really enough to answer 10 questions that I prepared really basically. Again, what I wanted to explain is that we are dedicated to business also. Analytics is here to help you to understand some data. So here, my first question would be, what is the number of deaths till now? Okay. So basically, this is a mean for me to present the main functionality of Tableau. So you see that if I just click on décès, I double click here. I know that there is a small lag, so I will try to be really slow. You see that appear a bar, okay? This bar gives me, in fact, the number of deaths that I have in my database. If I show the label, meaning the number of deaths, I see that obviously something went wrong, meaning that there is no 1 million people dead or 2 million, okay? If you remember, I have a date. So I have in fact to use the date as a filter because what I received as the data is a solid, meaning that every day I have the count from the beginning, okay? So here I have to use a filter to say, okay, in fact, if I want to know the number of deaths till now, I have to select only one day in my database, in my dataset. So I take the last one. And yes, now it seems better. If you follow the information, the news, I guess that everybody know these figures. I guess this is the figures of Johns Hopkins University. You see that I can change the format of my data because I guess it's simpler here to see the number directly in a table. Here it's just a cell, but you see that I changed from bar charts to a table. And here I have my first answer, my first business answer, which is how many deaths till now, okay? Then I would like to question my data, meaning, yes, but this figure, what it is, do I have all the countries of the world in my database, okay? So what I will do, maybe I will come back to this sheet. I will create a new worksheet, okay? So new worksheet here. And now what I will do, I will take the countries and just double click the countries. It's a little bit slow, but you should have on your screen a map of the world. Each point representing a country. You see that Tableau can help me in some cases. For example, here, it recognizes directly when I integrated the data, the column country as a column of geolocalization, meaning that he has in mind the list of the countries. This is the reason why just near country, I have this small world as a picto, which means if you use this kind of field, you will be able to use the maps directly because Tableau can generate, and you see that it did it for me here. It generated longitude and latitude of my different countries. as he also has layers, I can color my map to have the entire countries colored, okay? So you see here, basically, again, in few clicks, the number of countries that are covered by my database, okay? So basically, the whole world. Surprisingly, again, because we are trying to find insights, you see that Russia seems to be absent from the counts into this file. Maybe no case. I don't know if it's no case, if it's because it's a question of political. I don't know. I don't know if it was a choice from them, but you see that they don't appear here. Okay, so what I can assume here is that basically in my database I should have all the world. So my number of deaths should be basically the real number. Again, be careful with the data because it's a declaration. So I don't know if the figures can be trusted or not, but they are the figure that I have in the database. So next, maybe if I get back to my first sheet, now what I would like to do is to understand what is the ratio, what are the proportion between the countries. Okay, so again, I will in a few clicks have my answer thanks to this field, which is country. I double click again. So again, Tableau give me a map, but what I want here is not a map because the map is not the best visualization in that case. I will change thanks to this part of the screen. I hope you see it with not too much lag, but you have this part, which is the show me part. This part shows us a gathering of data visualization, and I change it to bar charts. Now I have my results in a bar chart, and really quickly again, I can order thanks to this small button here to see what are the most impacted countries. Again, I have to let my filter here last day that I know in order to have the right figures. You see that if I pass on a bar, I have this kind of tooltip that explains which country I'm talking about and what is the number of deaths. Okay, and if you check the data again, because we know the news, you see that this data is accurate. Okay, so now my next question would be, what is the top 10 of countries that have been troubled by the coronavirus till now? Because we are in France. I don't know if everybody is in France, maybe other people are abroad, but yes, it's the essential of the news every day. But let's see if every country is so impacted that to be so annoyed by the news. I know that it's a pandemic, but let's check a good figure, which is what could be the Pareto of this country. So again, it's really easy with Tableau. I just click on some décès here, and I can add what we call a quick table calculation, meaning that Tableau will help me again to make a calculation on what it calls a table, which is the data that is underlying my bar charts. So quick table calculation, I want the running total. This way, you can understand basically now that if I sum states plus Italy, I have a total of 52,000 deaths and so on, plus Spain, plus France and so on. Okay. Now that I have this, I would like to display the label. So again, really easy. I have here some options, and I can just click Show Mark Label. Now I have my figures. I don't need any more the tooltip. So really fast to have the information. But what I want is another calculation that I can add again by clicking on sum of décès, sum of death. I will edit my current table calculation, and I will say, okay, I want to add a second calculation on top of the running total, which is the percent of total. Yes, percent of total, and I will use the table down, meaning that I will again respect the order of the elements. Okay, I'm done. Basically, now I know that if I take only 10 countries, I have the majority of the death in the world due to coronavirus, again, on the basis of declarations. What I can do to help me to understand this data, I can take my KPI, the indicator that I created, sum of death plus running total plus percent of total, and put it here on color. By doing this, oops, sorry, I have to keep also the KPI here. So now you see that I've colored the bars, and the more the value, the bigger the value, the biggest the value, sorry, the darker the color. So here, what I want to be clearer, and if I want a real Pareto, and let's say that my Pareto here would be 90%, 10%, it's better than 80%, 12%, 20% in that case. To really see this Pareto, I will use not a continuous coloration, but a stepped color. So this way I can reduce the number of different colors. And what I will do is reverse this in order to have the darkest color for the first country. And then I will just put 2 steps to say, okay, there is a dark color and a light color. And I will change the start point, end point of this, because now what I want, if I want to target 90%, I will say, okay, I will start at 0.8 and I will end at 1, meaning that whatever, here you see that this limitation is 90%. So whatever value above this will be in this color, whatever value under 90% will be in this color, even if it's 20%. And I apply. So now I see clearly what are the countries that means 90% of deaths in the world due to COVID. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. Next question. I would like to know which important countries in terms of population have been in front of coronavirus. So what I need now is to, I don't have, if you remember my data, I don't have any column for population. So what I will do, I will take another file, which is a very simple file that I use a lot when I use Tableau, which is the world populations. So in that case, it's an Excel. It should come now, okay. Directly Tableau propose a join, because I guess that I have a name, which is the name here and here. This is the reason why I have this join. I can show you, yes, you see, pay in the first file and pay in the second file. So he merged directly because he felt that it was the same information. What he did is an inner join, meaning that only the countries that are present in both files will be taken into account. In my case, I would like to change it. I would like to take all the lines that I have in my coronavirus data set, even if I don't have the information of population in the other file. So now that this is done, I have a new part of information that you can see in orange, the orange column here. And if I get back to my visualization part, you can see here that I have new information coming from sheet 2, feuille 2. And essentially, année de recensement, we don't care this file, but what I need is population by country, okay? So if you just, if you are a little bit lost, just let me show you the data. So I take country, I drag it in rows, so you can understand that now I will have the list of the countries. You see that as I drop it manually, it didn't produce a map because I wanted a list, in fact. So here I have my list of country. I take the DC field and I will bring, in that case, no, I don't bring it, I just double click and automatically you see that Tableau put it at the right place. Then, just for you to understand what is population, I will double click on population and you see that now I have two different columns with DC and population. So yes, I succeeded in importing a new kind of data. By the way, you see that, yes, I selected all the dates. So again, if you remember, if I want good figures, I need to put again the date as a filter. And I will use again month, day, year, because as this field date is recognized as a date, it can propose various kind of filters. I could choose a year, quarter, month. In my case, I want a precise date, so I select this option. And Tableau give me the result, the equivalent result. So again, I will choose only one date. And now I see the number of, so I can use really easily the sorting. So for example, if you want to know, if you want to sort by number of deaths, you see that I have now États-Unis, United States as on the first position again. I have the population of the United States. And what I will do to see the rate, because this is what I'm interested in, I will create a new file, a new measure. To do this,
sorry for interrupting, Olivier, but I think we are running out of time for this example. So if we can just wrap it up in 1 minute or so. Thank you.
Yes, don't worry, don't worry. I guess that this is the most important part. So I just show this last element. I can create a calculated field. I will tell that it's the death rate. Oops, sorry. Okay. And here I can just display my first field DC divided by population. And now, yes, I have a new element. Calculation is valid. And you see it appears here. If I double click on it, I have this new field. I just forgotten that thanks to the ratio between both different KPI, I have to add a multiplier, let's say for 100,000 people. And now, yes, I have this new KPI, death rate by population. So just to finish on this part, I will apply, or I will duplicate this sheet, okay? This way I can go directly from this visualization, and I will apply the death rate pop as the color, okay? So maybe I have to reinforce the color, but basically I will do the same. I will use step colors from 0 to, yes, I don't know if the values are good. Yes, but basically, as we run out of time, I won't change parameter well the colors, but basically you see another information here, number of death, but also in color, another information, which is which are the countries where the rate is really important, meaning that yes, we have a lot of people dying in United States, but compared to Spain, for example, it's not that huge if we report the data to the population. So yes, maybe we can.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
For this insightful example. I think for the people who sent me their questions privately, we will answer them all at the end of the session. So now maybe we can proceed with the second example, if it's possible, directly after this one.
Okay, no trouble. So what we did here, it's kind of a small demonstration of data crunching and also demonstrating, you see that I didn't do very complex manipulation handling. It was just drag and drop. So just trust me, if you start with a data visualization, Tableau or another tool, whatever, you will be able to quickly have your first insights. Again, in this part, we were trying to answer a business question, whatever the format of your visualization, okay? So in the other application, you will see that we will really go further in terms of formatting, but whatever, even if in 5 minutes, you can have real valuable information with the data visualization tool. The idea of this report and the linked dataset is to compare the different countries of the world. So we are really business focused in this case, to make some competitiveness comparisons. Okay, so what they did, they took some indicators. These indicators are really really large. If I can show you the list of these indicators to define the competitiveness of a country, you will see that it's more funny that it should be apparently, but let me, yes, where is, yes, I guess it's here, yes. You see that their indicator, their global competitiveness indicator, is a compilation of different elements that you see on the screen that are here to show basically what are the level of institution, infrastructure, and so on the market, innovation, human capital, and environment in general. Okay, so these indicators are transformed then in scores. A score means that each value for each country is between 0 and 100. So it's really easy then to compare different countries on the labor market, on the infrastructure, and so on. So this is the data that I propose you to use. And let me go to the application. Okay, so in that case, what I will show you is the an application dedicated, let's say, to reporting, meaning that everybody has, everything has already been done. So maybe for this application, I spent, I don't know, let's say maybe between 10 and 15 hours. So it's a long time, but because it should be used by other people than me, that are not used to data visualization, they just want their results. So you will see in this application different kind of viz that are dedicated, as you can see on the name here, overview of a country, comparisons between countries, performance of the countries, where do I invest, and finally ranking and map that can help to define again an investment and possible country for investment. So if I click on a country flag, I will be redirected to the second page where appear. So I clicked on United Kingdom, and here I have a second page. You see that there is a difference between the first application that we were playing with COVID. In that case, I'm not anymore on a sheet. I'm on a gathering of sheets, meaning a dashboard. Okay. Into Tableau, you have two kinds of objects: sheets, the first example, and now dashboards. And you can see if I go on my sheet, you see that in fact it is composed of different parts that are in fact sheets. So get back to the presentation. So yes, on this dashboard now, I can see for a country all the values of this country. Again, it is a score from 0 to 100. So I'm here on Great Britain, but that could change and see the values for other countries. For example, Armenia. Okay, you see the data is updated. I go on, thanks to this link overview, to the next sheet. On this next sheet, the idea, again, is to have a view by country of all the KPIs by level. To do this, I created hierarchies, meaning that I'm on the highest level of the hierarchy here, which is the pillar, regrouping different indicators. And if I click on the small plus, I can go below and again below and reach the lower level of KPIs and have all the value again with another visualization, kind of lollipop visualization. And if it's too much, not really a bit difficult to read, I can focus, for example, on health by clicking on a filter here. Here I have only one KPI, but if I change six pillar, you see skills, you have now the value only for this. And again, if I change to Argentina, it will update directly. Now that I see for one country the data, I can change to comparison. In that case, I can compare between two countries. So if I change again, I want to compare Korea and Japan, let's say, to have the same region. Okay, what I designed here is for each indicator, the rank of this country among all the countries and the value. So you see here that on the first pillar, institutions, Japan is a little bit higher than Korea, which is 27th in the world, with a score of 65 and versus 71. I will go to performance now. So performance is something more general. My idea was to determine the number of time a country has been ranked first. Okay, so you see here that Finland, if I take all the country area of the world, you can see that Finland is 13th time first rank in this indicator produced by World Economic Forum. So I guess it's a good country to invest, for example, and for stability also. I can just take one part of the world. If I take Asia, for example, now you see that I reduced the number of points to only the region I was trying to analyze and interpret. And here in Asia, definitely Singapore and Hong Kong are the good students. And you see that, I don't know why, but yes, World Economic Forum is a little bit, yes, tough with China, which is not ranked a lot of time first in these rankings. Next, let's go to investments. where to invest. So here I used a map plus 3 fields. The first one, again, where I can choose to reduce my zone to one zone of the world, and then choose some of the KPIs that are valuable for my business. So I can change here by saying, okay, I'm interested by skills, because if I invest, I will have to recruit some people there. So a skill set of graduate is an interesting stuff for me. I'm not interested in quality of vocational training, nor in I don't know, critical thinking in teaching. So I will keep only these 4 ones. And again, you see that it has updated the other tables. And now I have the 5 countries of the world that are the best for me if I choose as criteria these ones. Next, I just checked the time, but I guess only 2 or 3 minutes more. Here, a combination between 2 KPI to see the combination, the correlation between them. So here I can select one indicator of my list. So for example, first pillar institution. And I want to compare it with, let's say, a second pillar or third pillar, for example. So here you have the position of the countries depending on these 2 pillars that are institution and ICT, telecommunication and internet adoption. And you have the ranking of the countries on the 2 of these axes. Next and last one. Again, based on a map, what is interesting here in terms of Tableau resource is that, again, I can change the values that are represented here depends on the filter that is here, okay? My filter is at the level of pillars. So if I go to health, I will have another coloration, okay? You see that Africa, for example, in terms of health is not well noted. And when I go to one of the country, I will have a kind of list of the different pillars that are under this visualization. And if I click on this country, for example, Nigeria, I can have the detail of this country. So if I remove my filter, I will have all the values here. And I can change from one country to another, again, for a purpose of comparison and so on. So basically, this second presentation was much more on what it is possible to do when you are on advanced stage. And I hope it would have been useful for you. Again, as it is 1 hour, it's difficult to show you everything, but I guess it was kind of a good sum up of the capabilities of the data visualization tools and the different usage that we have with this kind of tools.
Yes, thank you, Olivier.
You're
I think
welcome.
it was pretty interesting. Now we're gonna move to the Q&A. I think we have a couple of questions here. So first, what is the general difference between using Tableau and Power BI? So Theo is asking about the advantages and disadvantages of Tableau and Power BI.
Yes, okay. I guess that, well, maybe I can stop this presentation to save bandwidth. Basically, it would, it's funny because we were talking about it just yesterday. It would be really nice to have a big data club session with a comparison of both these tools, but to have, let's say, a quick answer. Basically, Tableau is not that good to preparation of data. Thanks to Tableau Prep, now it's kind of okay. But if you use Power BI, you will be much more able to play with your data for preparation. If you know Excel, but it's not exactly the same language, but basically you will be able to do the same operation, kind of VLOOKUP, this kind of stuff. With Tableau, it's much more limited, and it's kind of SQL operation like merge, join, this kind of stuff. So basically, Power BI is really powerful for the preparation of data, not expensive. This is what Microsoft tell, but I think that there are hidden costs. And on the other side, Tableau, very good for data crunching. This is the reason why I prefer this tool. But again, it's personal and a question of context.
Thank you. And in my private messages, I have a question. Did Olivier get the information from the PDF file, or did he prepare the sheet of the second exercise from another data source? So
yes.
They are asking about the World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm. In fact, yes, there is, I don't remember the link, but it's also open data, meaning that you can find this information on the web. It's, yes, free information from the World Economic Forum.
Yes, and for the people that were asking about the data sets, we will send them by tomorrow night, Alex, with all the data sets and the information. If you feel like playing around with the data or replicating any of the visuals that you saw today. Michael is asking how data should be represented in an Excel sheet to be downloaded into Tableau.
Yes, so basically, that was one of the message at the beginning, one info per column. So it's really, if you type on internet tabular file, it's really, yes, again, one information per column. So again, people in one column, business unit in another column, then the KPI, sales, for example. Yes, so basically one info per column, and depending on the case, you will have one KPI per column, or one column with all the KPIs completed by another column with the name of the KPI. This depends on the cases, but the basics is one info per column.
Yes, and Jose Antonio is asking, for cleaning and preparing data, is it possible to do it all in Tableau desktop, or it needs to be on Tableau Prep first? And in which cases is Tableau Prep needed?
In fact, you are really limited in Tableau desktop. Definitely, you can do some calculated fields, so it can help a lot. For example, when I was talking about two information in the same field, it occurs a lot. For example, just imagine if I take my case, World Economic Forum, in the indicators, they have put also the range between the lowest value and the biggest value. For example, for criminal stuff, it was from 1 to 7. Okay, so they put in my field, which is indicator, also the range. So I cut my indicator into two different fields. The real indicator, or indicator short, as I called it, and the second one was the range of the value in case I want to use it in another for other cases. But yes, with Tableau Desktop you can do some stuff, but definitely if you want to join files, you will be limited. So you can do, but yes, it depends.
And Francois is asking for a general advice to avoid misleading visuals in general.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't get you.
A general advice to avoid misleading visuals?
But yes, first, no pie chart. I don't know why. I just read books about it, a lot of books from professionals, teachers of data visualization. So I don't know why, but pie charts, I can understand. What I know is that the best charts, bar charts. That's it. It depends. Basically, you can use scatter plot. Okay, if you have two axes, you can use a line chart if you have time, and then bar chart, and that's it. Yeah, if you master these different charts because you can do a lot with it. You see in Tableau, you can use coloration, you can use a size, you can use a lot of stuff. So if you are comfortable with these three elements, it's okay. Don't try to make like a box plot and so on. It doesn't matter. Just for specific case like statistics, machine learning, that's it. But in general, bar charts, it's so efficient.
Yes, thank you. And the last question from my private messages, can I ask how Google Data Studio and Tableau compare?
Wow, I don't know Google. What's the name? Sorry, Google?
Google Data Studio.
I don't know it. You know that now every tool has its own data visualization part. You just have to take Dataiku, for example. You have so many of them. But even Excel is not that bad. In fact, you can do now a lot of stuff with Excel in terms of data visualization. So yes, it's as always. You have the leaders on the market with really powerful tools. And then challengers. I guess in that case that Google is definitely a challenger, but I didn't test. And you have to know also that I worked on these topics for let's say yes more than 10 years now, and every year the ranking is kind of different. For the moment, I'm really proud of the Tableau product, but 5 years ago it was much more Qlik. Tomorrow I will be a Power BI. In fact, I don't care because again, the concepts are the same. You want to look into your data really fast, find insights, and always measures, dimensions, filters, bar charts. That's it.
Yes, thank you. I think we are done with the questions. So I would like to thank you all for attending, and thank you, Olivier, for this session. I think it was pretty interesting for everyone. And if you have any other question, you can reach out to me or Alex, or even send an email to the Big Data Club.